Hi, Vicky here, aka Mother Hen. Today I want to talk to you about how organising the house and getting a routine to my day really helped me to recover from my mental illness. I suffer with GAD and social anxiety, and I found that one of the key triggers to my GAD anxiety was how the structure of the house and the routine of the house was really affecting me. I was finding that I was more anxious when tasks weren't completed, when I knew this thing still needed to be done, and it was really just stressing me out, really. It was just on my mind constantly, and if something wasn't done, it was it was just constant. It was a worry. It was there, and until that task had been completed, I just couldn't kind of move on, with my day. So what I did back in August was I decided to set myself a goal of 4 weeks where I would get the house to a place that I felt happy with. So I started in the front room. The front room is our largest room of the downstairs. Obviously all the children's toys are in there. It's our living space. We've got our dining table in there. But there's also, storage cupboards and stuff. And I knew that inside the storage cupboards were just this big, endless pile of rubbish that was just being collected. On top of them, I had bits and pieces that were everywhere, and it was just niggling away at me all the time. So what I did was I carried 3 bags with me wherever I went, whichever room I was doing at the time. I had 3 bags of rubbish, recycling, and things that I wanted to donate to charity. I then basically went through everything. Different rooms took different amounts of time, but I went through everything to really clear it all out. If there was things that I wanted to keep, things that the children had made me, but I didn't specifically need it to be there, I put it in a box which we were then able to put away for safekeeping. I found that as I moved room from room, it then allowed me to be able to keep on top of the rooms that I'd already done. So at the end of the day, I was able to kind of have a quick whiz round clearing up the toys. I was able to put the vacuum cleaner around, just straighten up the cushions, and then we had a lovely living space for the evening, rather than it just being chaotic. And it could literally take anything up to 5 minutes just to whiz around and clear it up. I did this with every single room of the house. It actually only took me 3 weeks to achieve it. So that's why I set myself the 4-week goal, because I didn't want any extra pressure. When you're suffering with mental illness, the last thing you need is an unachievable goal. I wanted to be able to give myself that time to be able to do it. Now, what I did was I made sure that just because I had done a room, I then didn't just abandon it. So I made sure that that room was still up together before I moved on to the next room. And by clearing the house and removing all of the things that were getting in my way of having structure and routine, it really then helped me to gradually build a system that would work for me. Now, everybody's household is different. I know that some people use a daily organisation sheet where, it's set out between 9 and 10 they're going to do something, between 10 and 11 it'll be something else, and between 11 and 12 just doesn't work for me. I tried it on at least 4 different occasions, each at different times, in the past year. So it wasn't kind of just 4 continuous weeks. There was breaks in between, and I thought, no, I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to give it another go. And it just didn't work for me because of how our household runs. I found that I wasn't able to keep that structure, because something else would always delay me. And with those delays brought more anxiousness, because I was then stressed with myself for not keeping to the timetable. So I found that actually with anxiety, having that set day just didn't work for me. What I did find though was having a list, having a weekly and daily list available to me, not just in my mind but also down on paper, really helped to take things out of my brain, put it onto paper, so things that I didn't have to remember to do. So if I knew that the next day something specific needed washing, I could write it down. You know, that type of stuff. If I knew that the next day I needed to remember to buy bread, I wrote it on the next day's list, just because then I wasn't going, remember to buy bread, remember to buy bread. Because when you go to bed at night, that's what your brain does. It goes, you've got to remember to this, you've got to remember to that. Whereas if I'd written it down, it took that pressure away from me. So then gradually, as the house was starting to come together more, I was finding that by having more space and by having less clutter around me, I was then able to form my own structures to my day. So this included making the packed lunch boxes the night before, putting them in the fridge. It included getting the school uniforms out and laying them out, including, you know, pants, socks, shoes. Everything was laid out, ready to go. Our children, along with probably millions of other children, always seem to lose their school shoes. They take them off and then for some reason they seem to vanish, especially in our house. So what I did was made sure that as soon as the children came home, the whole uniform came off, the shoes came off, and it was all put together ready for the next day. The coats, we hung them up so that we knew that they weren't just kind of thrown over the back of the couch. You know, all these little things started to pull together, and now our morning routines are so much less stressful because I know where all of these things are. So it's up, it's breakfast time, it's then getting changed. Their pajamas then are taken straight from the pile, from where they're stood, in getting changed into their uniforms, and get put straight into the basket. We've now got a basket downstairs by the washing machine, because I found that otherwise you just have a mountain of clothes, dirty clothes somewhere, or having to take them upstairs to bring them back downstairs, which never seemed to be ideal. I don't get my children dressed upstairs. I do it when they've come downstairs. You know, so it was these little things that I was finding to be really, really helpful to my day. I was able to then start incorporating other systems into place. So I made sure that I got on top of all my washing, which was a massive task. And I hate laundry, can't stand it. I don't understand the thrill of it. It's always, you know, there's 7 of us in the house, it's constant. So what I found was I did one, like I think it was about 3 or 4 days of just pure washing, drying, hanging, putting away, going through the clothes whilst I was doing it and getting rid of everything that actually they didn't need. So I found that, you know, there's always that one top that's, you know, it doesn't fit or it's damaged or whatever, and it goes into the wash and then goes back upstairs and goes back into the wash again because you don't actually have a place to put it. So I've got rid of it. Just get rid of it. There was no need for it to be in the house, to be constantly being rewashed from upstairs to downstairs. So it was taking all of these things, being aware of them and going, right, this is something that stresses me out. I'm just going to get rid of the problem. So I was then able to get up one morning, vacuum the house, give the house a little bit of a tidy up if there was, you know, any mess from the night before, put the dishwasher on, go out and feed the chickens, which obviously a lot of people won't be doing, but, you know, pets. And I was ready to start my day. By 10:30 every morning, yes, there was still housework that needed to be doing, but it wasn't the things that normally would take me all day because I was trying to fight with this mess. So just by adding that structure, clearing the clutter, adding the structure to the day, I found the dog shook the thing then, it went all funny. It just really helped me. It took away some of the stress. Now, there's still days where I'm not on top of it. There's usually one day a week, and I don't really know how it happens, where I just don't do anything. And I literally just seem to be busy doing everything else. I never get around to the housework. So then the next day, I just feel like it's a minefield of so much more to do. Now, but 6 months ago, that would have just broken me. Literally, I wouldn't have been able to have faced it. It would have been total ignorance. It would have been sat watching the television, just chaos, absolute chaos. Whereas now, because I know that if I just crack on with it, get it over and done with, it will look beautiful again, and then I can restart my day. So yes, sometimes it can take me up to dinner time to get back on top of it again, but for the other 6 days a week, I've done it by 10, 10:30. So, it doesn't make any difference. And I think taking that pressure off myself of going, it's okay that you didn't do it yesterday, accepting the fact that I didn't do it yesterday, but today I'm going to get back on top of it again. What's happened in the past has happened. Yes, for a year I may not have been on top of the housework, and that's fine. Nothing I can do about it now. I've accepted it, I've solved the problem, and I'm now moving on to the future. I'm now looking at each day and the different possibilities. I'm able to now spend time on things that I enjoy. I'm able to appreciate the things around me. It's not chaotic when the children come home from school. I'm able to sit there with them now for anything up to 45 minutes to an hour, just playing with them and having fun and talking about their day before I have to get on and do tea and the bedtime routine and all that type of stuff. Whereas before, I was basically just running around chaotically, not achieving anything. And that, I think, for me, looking back on it now, was the worst thing. Was I felt like I was constantly busy, wasn't actually achieving anything. Every day the same things still needed to be doing because I hadn't actually done them the day before, even though I hadn't stopped all day. So clearing the house, decluttering, finding some organisation, doing it every day, keeping on top of it every day really helped me. And now I'm able to do things that I haven't been able to do before. I'm able to organise all of my paperwork. I'm able to spend time on myself. I'm able to build the mother hen mission, which a year ago wouldn't have been possible. There wouldn't have been a chance that I would have had the time in the day to do all of what I do now. But looking back on it, what was I actually achieving then by being constantly busy doing nothing? It would take what I was basically be flitting from task to task, and that doesn't achieve anything. I had to see each task through to then move on to the next one. And I think that for me was a massive turning point in my recovery. I still suffer now doing these videos. Going out is still massive for me. My husband asked me yesterday, do you want to go out? No, can't do that today. But I'm in the comfort of my home, and at the moment I'm feeling like I'm achieving one massive pressure at the moment. That's what, to me, I want to be able to go, I'm on top of organising my house. Everything is clean and tidy, organised. I have structure. It's not a laid out structure, but it's a structure that works for me. And yeah, it's a massive deal. So if there's one thing, that you can do, is look at, is your structure in your house working for you? And if it isn't working for you, if it's not causing you to be happy, change it now, because I promise you, after you've done it, it might take a while, it might take a few weeks, but the outcome is incredible. I promise you. Thank you so much for being here today. I will do a pack on this in the shop at some point, so please keep heading back to themotherhenmission.com. Thank you. Bye.